Oh, hi.
Noon.
Hi, I'm Noon, and I suck at lighting, and I'm sunburned. And this is going to take a couple of minutes because there's a bit of a preamble for this whole video. One, today is the last day of the military special dry runs, and it's going to be the gin today. It calls itself a London dry gin, so we'll see how that turns out based on the labeling statements of the other shit that we dealt with. Before I do that, I need to address the vodka thing. The vodka thing being kind of a couple different things kind of rolled into one. No, I don't think that Barton's vodka is the worst thing in the world. It's not the worst tasting in the world. It's simply that I've had alcohol poisoning in the past from it so many times. If it was bad, I wouldn't have had it that many times. And I have a visceral reaction to it. It's not that rare. It's not that uncommon. I don't know why it seems that alcohol is the only thing that it really seems to crop up with. You never hear about somebody eating green bean casserole and then violently vomiting or something because they remember a time where their dad booted down the door and whipped their ass with a belt. I don't know what's up with that. I'm not a scientist or anything. I just know that because the nicer vodkas don't have that effect on me. It's just the cheap ones. I didn't give any tasting notes for it. You're absolutely correct, and that was my fault. However, I really can't because the only taste it really has is sweet and burning. In fact, it's so sweet that if you swap the labels on the silver rum and the vodka, I'd believe you. It's just that much sweeter than it really needs to be compared to the silver rum. Next thing I need to address, and this is specifically a comment that I actually deleted it, not because the guy was mean to me or said some, choice words to me, mostly involving the costume. You don't like the costume, that's fine. It's not for everybody. It's for me. It's for me to, wall myself off from people. The primary reason I deleted the comment was because of the misinformation that was in it. Namely, this myth, it's pervasive and it will not go away no matter how many times people say it, how many times I say it. No, good vodka doesn't taste like nothing. That's never been true. If you said that in any other context outside of vodka, people would think you were a mental patient. If you said the best kind of pizza is the kind of pizza that tastes like nothing, people would wonder what the fuck is wrong with you. Vodka is no different. It's a distilled spirit. Just because you like the ones that don't have flavor, you like to overspend on Grey Goose or Absolute, Finlandia, one of those out there, then that's entirely on you. I can go on at length about what constitutes a good vodka. I talked briefly about the Hammer and Sickle having notes of vanilla and shortbread and almond, and it's not the only one. Luksusowa is a great Polish vodka, and it's made with potatoes. It has a buttery taste. It has sort of a, you can really taste, it's like almost like an unsalted Lay's potato chip kind of flavor. They're supposed to have flavor. If it's an alcohol or a food item or whatever, as long as it's not water, it's supposed to have a flavor. Even water has a flavor, but we're so accustomed to it that we really don't assign it one. I'm dehydrated, so anyway. I really don't want to have to cut a bunch of stuff out, so I'm kind of rushing water. Sorry. But no, to make that even faster. Vodka, neutral tasting? No, it's not good. If it tastes like nothing, it's not good. What that tells you is that every time they distilled it, it had character, and they got rid of it, and it's disgraceful, and it's usually only done for one reason or another. These super luxury brands have sold you the idea that a good vodka is flavorless. Nowhere is that ever like. I almost get fatigued just arguing about it. Suffice it to say that if vodka was supposed to taste like nothing, nobody would waste their time making it. Does that makes sense. There are great Polish distillers that make a good vodka and then they add more stuff to it. Not because of they want it to taste like nothing, because of they want it to have vodka. The Russians and the Ukrainians and the Bulgarians and all these other groups, they can all argue about who invented what, when, and what everything else. The Polish, to the best of our knowledge, are the people who invented vodka. And they have always been adding things like, there's one, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation because I am not Polish. I want to say it's the Americans, we'd probably call it the Browski, but it's probably like the Brovski or something like that. And they put like buffalo grass in it, and the vodka has like a yellow-green tint to it. It's awesome. It's lovely. I don't have any up here, otherwise I'd show it. But it's really good, and it doesn't taste like nothing. I hate that. So I deleted the comment because of, if you still believe the good stuff tastes like hot tap water, then you need a fucking hobby. You need to go like drink some tea or something. If you want hot water, go drink hot water. But stay away from alcohol because of it's wasted on you. Now, preamble out of the way. Damn, that took 6 minutes. What is a gin? If you don't know what a gin is, I'm going to put it in the grossest possible sense. No, I'll do that in a second. So a gin, in its most basic form, is it's usually like a pot still. It's filled with all kinds of botanicals. What's a botanical? That depends on who you ask, because of some of them have fruits in it. They'll have flowers in it. So the classic, of course, it has to have juniper in it for it to be a gin. And then some of the higher end brands have many more botanicals added to it, to the point where you could say, and this is the gross term, you could basically say that gin is fermented dumpster juice in the in the most beautiful way possible. Because I'm going to step to the side over here real fast to go grab this. This bottle has a little label attached to it, and one moment. Yes, okay. This is one of my all-time favorites: Drumshambo Gunpowder Gin. And you might realize that, yes, this bottle is empty. I remember the other day when I said I needed to clean my glasses because I used it for something unrelated. This was it. And they, in theirs, give you a little booklet that shows you all the botanicals that they have. And it's things like coriander and lemon and yuzu, and of course the gunpowder tea that they use to make the product. So every gin is radically different, and a lot of them, for whatever reason, this is going to sound unpatriotic. A lot of the ones made here in the States are fucking terrible. I don't know why that is. If everybody's just so obsessed with like the Prohibition era flavor that they refuse to evolve. But a lot of the ones made here in the States suck. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And most certainly this one. I haven't even cracked it open yet, and I can already tell you the tasting notes is probably going to be a jab from pine and a straight up right hook from the juniper, and then probably fuck all else. I'll be surprised if there's another flavor note in here, just based on my experience with low tier American made gins. The only redeeming factor about this one is it probably has the coolest label out of all the military special alcohols. You know, you got the tank on there and the fighter jet. Who doesn't love a good fighter jet on their booze? Again, with the lying label statements, it claims to be handcrafted. If it's from Barton, no, not. Oh, it's also gluten-free, just like yesterday. If you're still one of those fucking idiots that can't eat bread, shotgun, etc., but they have you covered for $10 for probably the worst gin you'll ever have in your life. I guess I'll try to make this one a little bit of a shorter one. I'm already close to 10 minutes. And while I'm doing this, I want to kind of give you an idea of what's to be expected next. I want to take a break from these drinks that I know I'm going to hate because of that. that sort of like rage baiting content where you're deliberately upsetting yourself can only go so far, and it's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not fun for me. It might be funny for you, but I think my next step is going to be tasting something that I haven't had before, but has rave reviews. And fuck it, I'll just grab it real fast to show it too. There you go. It's going to be mellow corn. That label is incredibly retro. Supposedly, it hasn't changed since 1943. I think they said 45. The label hasn't changed since 1945, which is awesome. That is an awesome thing. I hear great stuff about this, and I'd love to try it. I'm gonna try it on camera, and I have a accompanying ramble discussion thing I want to bring up while I have that. But that's not what we're here for today. That's tomorrow. Once I get off work tomorrow and I want to get away from the military special for a minute, we're going to go to Mellow Corn and we're going to try that out. And I'm not going to go like yesterday. I'm only going to give myself a little bit. I don't have it in me to be crushed by my disappointment once again. Yesterday was incredibly rough on me. So, and I don't even have it near my face, and I could already smell the ethanol vapors. We are dredging the bottom of the barrel on this one, fellas. Ooh, maybe I spoke too soon. That, once the ethanol has kind of dissipated a little bit, that has a great nose on it. I would love to be wrong. If this changes, this might change the trajectory of this whole fucking thing. It does carry a bit more ethanol than I would like, but for the price point, you really can't complain. It's nowhere near as complex as a Drum Shenbo or a Monkey 47, but it's got a perfume quality, so it has a sort of a forced sweetness to it. But it has a soft nose, very juniper as to be expected. Not as much pine as I was expecting. Matter of fact, I would struggle to even say that it smells like pine so much that it kind of has more of that, more of the smell of, what would I compare it to? It kind of reminds me more of like those like holly bushes or laurels, spruce, something along those lines. It's still in the same family of tree, but not pine needle tea, which is what I was expecting. And even through the mask, it smells. Now, this might be my fault, and it could be something else. I'm not sure. For one reason or another, these vapors that are coming off of here make my head feel like it's kind of hurting. I might be more dehydrated than I initially anticipated, but with 14 minutes in and the bottle's already open, we're just going to keep going. I got to take a small sip and see what we think here. I'll be damned. Now, again, it's still a Drum Shenbo. There's no Monkey 47. There's not a whole lot of complexity. But it's not bad. It's not, I wouldn't say it's good, but it's not bad. For a gin in this price range, it's extremely approachable. It's beyond serviceable. If somebody just gave me some of that, I would drink it. As a matter of fact, I will end up finishing this glass. I can work with this. I can work with this for sure. I'm not disappointed. Tastes. The juniper is the star. It's a one-man band. But there is, let me go in for another one. There's a tartness to it that kind of reminds me of like fresh rhubarb. There's a mint, sort of it's like a menthol type of mouthfeel, but I really don't taste any mint. I just get the feeling of it, that sort of cooling sensation. And it dies out to the heat from the alcohol, but it doesn't burn. It doesn't even burn like the rum did. That is a treat compared to the other ones. I still say the whiskey has a better flavor array than this does. But considering how bad a lot of cheap gins are, that's downright a treat. It has a couple, there's like a lemon note. Maybe not a lemon. Now, one of the ingredients is most certainly lemon, or at least lemon zest. But the taste is similar, but just different enough. It's not lime. I would maybe a little bit of lime, sort of like a key lime. What's the other one? Not the... That rhubarb note that I'm picking up, I'm enjoying that. That gives me a couple of ideas. It's not. I want to say lemon, but it's not lemon. It doesn't taste like a lemon. It doesn't have a tart like lemon. It doesn't have a juiciness like a lemon. Maybe just lemon zest would be close enough, but I'm thinking of a very specific fruit, like a kumquat. It's an exotic-ish fruit, and it's probably not in there, but that's the note I'm getting. Or it's lemon-ish, but it's not tart, it's not bitter, it's not sour. It's sweeter, and it's a little on the drier side. So yeah, like a kumquat would probably be a good comparison. I'm hiccuping now, and it doesn't hurt, and the flavors coming back up aren't bothering me. I'm not offended. I'm surprised, and I am in awe, unironically, that this is as good as it is. I'm excited now. As a matter of fact, I might have a little more. So what makes gin so interesting is that there are several different styles, and it's impossible for me to name all of the ones that I've come across. I typically like the ones where it is like 50 things thrown into a vat, because if the distiller or their mixer are good at their jobs, you'll maybe not taste every single one of those flavor compounds every single time, but maybe when it's in this cocktail, these ones stand out more because the other ingredients mellow out the others. Maybe at a certain temperature, these stand out more than those did. And the gin is so much fun to play with because of that. While whiskey is whiskey and it has those certain flavor notes, like you may pick up tobacco, you may pick up like, it has that like leather taste, which is a strange one, but it exists. And it's kind of like you're playing with all those flavors at once. Gin is more like, I like these flavors, don't much care for these. Mix it this way, completely kills off these 12 flavors and elevates these 18 flavors. Not all gins are created equal. In the price range, I think this one might actually stand head and shoulders above several others. I mean, it's not a Tanqueray 10. Don't get it twisted. I got a Monkey 47 over there. This would never replace that. But this bottle may not last as long as I initially anticipated, because of that is approachable, and it's a sipper. It's genuinely a sipper for $10. It's insane. If you have contacts or connections, or you can go there and buy it yourself, Military Special handcrafted London gin is a winner as far as I'm concerned here. Any of your standard gin cocktails, A G&T with this would be gin and tonic. If for some reason somebody doesn't know, that would be good. I bet you a little Sprite if you don't like gin and tonics because of the quinine. A little Sprite or something with the lemon and lime, especially if you get the natural sugar kind. That would be good. That would be good, I think. Hell, I've gotten the absinthe and stuff. I might go as far as saying this makes a decent low cost corpse reviver. I need to find out what the other ingredients for that are, because if I have all of them, that would probably be the cocktail I try on camera for this. I'm having a blast right now. 21 minutes, and this is probably the happiest ending I will be having on this for the military specials. I wish I could say more. Let me try to see if I can't dig out more flavors just for the people who like the longer videos. A little cinnamon, very, very little. I would say there's pepper. I try to ignore pepper in gin because it seems like a lot of gins, kind of as a cheap way to add depth and complexity, will take a handful of peppercorns of a variety of colors and just kind of chuck them in there and hope for the best. I think even Drumshambo has black peppercorns. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Talking up my ass. Yeah, they don't even list it on there. They got caraway seed, but I mean, if I get another bottle of that, I'll be glad to do another review for Drumshambo as well. But yeah, there's like a black pepper, that rhubarb note. It's consistent. It's herbal. It's bitter, and this is a controversial thing. I'll save that rant for another video. Yeah, because I want to kind of surprise people with that one. At least one of you already knows what I have planned as far as that goes. But yeah, look forward to that. I'm gonna finish this glass, and this is a genuine surprise. This is like a kid in a candy store now, because I got a fucking handle of gin that I can actually enjoy. There's a little bit of a vanilla note. And again, since it's not a whiskey, it doesn't touch oak, it's worth noting in these clear spirits especially, there's a bit of a vanilla note. It's sort of a softer, like as I'm talking, I can taste it. There's some vegetal, I think that rhubarb note kind of evolves into like a flatter generic vegetal note. So it's a flavor that starts off strong and then gets weaker as it goes. And that's something that these cheaper gins tend to do. A Monkey 47 or the Drumshambo and a Tanqueray 10. You can take a sip like I have of those, and you can ride that sip for 5-10 minutes because the flavor just keeps shifting, it keeps changing, and they're almost like taking turns as they come about. In fact, as I'm saying that, I'm realizing that maybe I was too harsh on the rum, the gold rum, not the silver. The silver one could fuck right off. The gold rum, I know something I said yesterday was that you didn't taste that apple cinnamon flavor until after you swallowed. And now as I'm saying this here, I'm wondering if I couldn't use that in a cocktail to where those two flavors coming at the very end of the drink or at the end of the palate might be a good thing. Boy, a little bit of good gin will raise your spirits right up. So maybe I'll figure out something. I haven't got any opinions on cocktails for it yet from any viewers. If I don't get any, I have a couple that I'm thinking of. They're not ones I normally would make, but it would be worth trying with that, I think. Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised and pleased with this. Yeah, even holding it in my mouth, the burn never really hits until after you swallow, and then you kind of feel it come all the way down. And it does move like a hot syrup. So it has some cons to it. It has that sticky mouthfeel, but it could also be being dehydrated, so I don't take my word for that one. I wish I could find out what that flavor is. Me washing my mouth out with the water and then drinking it. And there's a sort of a slow metallic vegetal note, kind of a combination. What would I? It's not that same canned bamboo shoot flavor. It's something a bit more different. Something, I'm not sure. It has a strange mouthfeel too, where it's. This is probably the most pretentious thing I've said on here so far, but bumpy. A round flavor profile is sort of like, a great example is the drum shambo. If you've never had it, it's impossible for me to explain it without saying it. It has like a pillowy mouthfeel, kind of like fresh whipped cream or a good meringue, where it's like the flavor is there, but the texture of it on your tongue is very light, to where it feels like it's almost evaporating. That's a round flavor. A sharp flavor is where it's burning or stinging, or it just feels like your mouth is being attacked. This one's bumpy, it's sort of in the middle, and you can't predict which way it's gonna go. So that could be fun to play with. There is a pine note now coming through. For a $10 gin to be evolving at all is great news. And I'm happy with that, actually. So I'll be coming up with I'll probably be making a classic cocktail with this, an experimental cocktail with the gold rum, and then I will be trying to figure out what to do with the whiskey, because there's a couple things I'd like to try with it, but I don't have the means to, so I might be having to figure out what to do with that. I have an idea, and I'm going to say it here that way in case I might forget. I'm thinking about doing a smoked cherry old fashioned, and I don't have the smoker or the capacity to burn cherry wood. No, I actually have smoked cherries, like actual cherries that have been smoked. I think if I do like an old fashioned with that, the smoke from the cherries and the cherry itself will add enough depth and complexity to the drink to sort of elevate the whiskey without crowding it out. And then maybe some like cacao bitters or something like that. I'll figure something out. It'll be a work in progress. I might not do it all on camera until I have a finished product. But then that'll be what it is. In any case, thanks for tuning in.